Hi, I'm Layla from HR.com. If you are joining us for the first time today, welcome to day 3 of Inspire, and welcome back to those that have rejoined us. Have a look around and tune in to the valuable learning sessions and networking times. Check out the event navigation guide to get the most out of the event. I will post a link to the exit survey in the chat area, and the presentation slides will be available in the archived version of this event on HR.com. If you have questions during the session, simply add them in the Q&A on your webinar controls. There will be time for live answers at the end of the session. You will also notice the chat feature, which you may use to engage with attendees and panelists. We love hearing your comments. This session is Build Yourself Up as a Leader, presented by Manoj Gupta, and joining him is Amber Paisano, Head of Marketing on his team. Manoj is an expert when it comes to building successful companies. He has a unique ability to create, comprehend, and communicate technical issues while demonstrating the highest level of business acumen. Drawing from more than 20 years of experience, he's led global corporations and revolutionized businesses by providing innovative technology delivery solutions. It's now my pleasure to turn it over to Manoj.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us here today. I just want to introduce myself a little bit.
Manoj, are you able to turn on your camera? So at the top where there's the controls, you should see a camera.
Hold on one second. Okay, are we live now?
Perfect, thanks.
So are we live now?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, thank you for joining me on my presentation. I just want to take a few minutes to introduce myself again and about a little bit about ACHNET, and then go through the presentation. So as the host introduced me earlier, that I have got a experience in leading some large teams for about 20 years now, and I have led some big teams for large corporations. And the reason for ACHNET, or creation for the ACHNET, was to help business professionals build momentum behind their careers and lives to achieve full potential. In other words, the reason we wanted to build ACHNET was to give some momentum behind the careers of the professionals, so that they can deliver more and they can be more happier in what they're doing. So why we created ACHNET? So while I was running the teams, and this is a little bit about my introduction again, because I want to bring the backdrop why actually we created ACHNET, so that you know the purpose behind it. I already told the mission, but when I was running the team, I was finding that there were a lot of people who were, there were some people who were great performers, and there were a lot of people who were not performing. There can be various reasons for people not to perform at their work, but what I found out was one of the reasons was that there was a lot of mismatch between what they were doing and what they were hired for, and what actually their goals were to what their goals were, professional goals were. And as a managers, we were constantly struggling to bring them up to their speed, and they were struggling to perform the work as what was expected, and so forth. So then we started digging a little bit more into why this is happening, and we found out that, just one second, we found out that most of the people in today's world do not have any game plan. And when we interviewed the people, we found out that 70%, 75% of the workforce said if they had preferred planned career, if they had the help some help to define their careers, where they want to go, and align those careers with their goals, professional goals. They will be more happier in the jobs which they were performing. 85% of the people said that once they are into the job, they do not know how to position themselves well. So a lot of times the perceptions of the people which were created while they were working, uh, they were not uh, the right perception. As a result, they were losing out on their appraisals, on their performances, and so forth. And obviously, if we look at the students today, although the students go through various various courses, they do the majors, but still they say that they still need the career guidance, because what they have done might not be matching up. Just one second, we have got some issues here. Okay, so students are also struggling to find the right careers for them. And then we said, let's try to see how we can address these situations. And what we did was we started creating the ACHNET, and this is the platform which we built in to build some more focus into what people actually want to do. Now, if we look at what people are going for now, and what the future looks like, preferred future for a lot of people, for most of the people, I would say. And this is the survey we again did recently, and we found that 35% or more workforce has moved towards the entrepreneurship. You might have heard something like gig workers, or you might have served independent workers. Now people are going towards more independent work. Why? Because they want to earn more money, they want to have more freedom, and they want to work what they like. So this is what is happening. And as a result, because of this pandemic now, the enterprises also have to now change the way they engage people into the workforce. And they have to go through non-traditional ways of getting the work done. Because now, initially, if you see, enterprises were looking for people to come at one place, and they were at one office, and everybody was collaborating there, and they were working happily there. Now, because of this pandemic, everybody is working from home, or actually, a lot of people have started working from overseas as well. So now the companies have to figure it out, that how to identify the right people, and how to make sure that the work is getting done in a right manner, and the quality of the work is coming out. So it becomes more important for us to position ourselves well, and so that when we are at our workplace, the companies are confident that we can deliver what they are looking for. So this comes to as a next point is, what's your game plan? That's the question I wanted to ask the audience, actually. So since this is all virtual, I will just breeze through this and talk about it. Are you contributing your whole self? Is your goals aligned with your work, which you are doing, and getting the best value out of the work? If not, then we need to have we need to design the game plan for you, so that you can be more successful in what you do. And that's what ACHNET is built around, to design the game plan for a leader to make sure the leader is successful in whatever tasks or work they do, and it is aligned with their professional goals, which is very important. We can go and work today anywhere, but if it is not aligned with our professional goals, the chances are that we might not be very happy in performing the task we are doing. So that's why we brought in ACHNET, and that's how ACHNET can help design the game plan. So let's go and look at what is the current state. And I already talked about the preferred state. Preferred state was what people are thinking about: more freedom at work, having more money, and taking more responsibility, but responsibility of the work which they like. And enterprises who are going to bring them on, they have to start thinking about the people as more of their partners or entrepreneurs, or I would rather say that they will be hiring more of the personal brands. You will be your brands yourself. So that's the shift which is going to happen. So no more we will be mercy on just the HR or anybody else. If we position ourselves well, if we can do the things well which are aligned to our professional goals, I think we can be more successful. And that's what we want to bring through ACHNET. So I just want to talk about the current state, and then I will keep referring to the preferred state because that's what is in the background, but that's where we want to take people. And let's look at the current state. So current state, if we look at it, what's the current state? If we are hired as a leader, or if we are hired as anybody to perform a job, what the companies do, they go and put the work or what they're looking for on job board, or they post a job. We apply for a job through the resumes, and some people sitting in the company, they review the resumes. That's how the traditional work was. And then we go through the phone or video interviews, right? Before pandemic, people were asked to come to the offices and do the interviews in person as well, so that they can see how confident the person is and so forth. But after pandemic, most of the things are happening through the phone or video interviews. And then we hire them, right? Now, after 3 months into the job, we find out what we were told to perform, or what the task we were told is not actually the task which we are given. And after some time, we start feeling that, this is not something which we were looking for, or we are there just to do the task which were given to us. And that's it. So we want to change that. And how do we change that? So let's look at what we were talking about, the preferred state. If we are very clear about our professional goals, what actually we want to do as a leader, and if we have got some way to establish our professional credibility, and professional credibility is more than just a resume we are talking about here. We're not talking about somebody giving some writing, some statement about us, he's a good person, you can hire him, or one person giving word of mouth that, okay, you can hire him and he is good. That's how we are measuring the professional credibility in today's world. Most of the people, there are some companies or some people, they go very deep into it through the background checks and all that kind of stuff. But most of the people do not have time to go through the vetting the professional credibility of person. And then coaching becomes very important. The coaching I'm talking about the coaching from a professional certified coaches. who earn their living by coaching people into various areas, whether it's life skills, whether it is career transition or career management, whether it is mental health, or it can be many more maneuvering through the politics in the organization and so forth. So all of us get stuck somewhere. And we feel the coaching is very, very important for us because we generally, what we do today, we go to our spouses or friends and family and try to figure it out. This is what we are facing, and can they give us some suggestion? Those suggestions sometimes might be correct, a lot of times might not work out. As a result, we are still not sure. But if there is a professional coach that can help you with the issues, it can you are assured that some things will work. And then the talent management. So when we are talking about talent management as leaders, a lot of times we need to hire the teams for ourselves who can make us successful. They have to be in tune with what we are thinking. They have to match with our personalities. If we are, they should understand the team dynamics. I mean, all these things are very important when we're hiring the people or when we are bringing the people into the team, whether from within the company or whether from outside. It's extremely important, which at least I have felt that if I had the people who were well tuned with my team, then my team will be more successful. As a result, I can be more successful. The challenges will always be there. So how do we, let's tackle each of these slides separately and talk about it. When I talk about the professional goals, what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about what actually, first we talk about what actually is your personality type. Absolutely important. I might like to earn a lot of money as a salesperson, but I might not have a personality to be a salesperson. I might need some help to groom myself into that particular role, if you want to. Or if I want to go into the management in executive positions, and I'm currently I'm a leader of a particular division, I need to make sure that my personality is right for the job which I'm looking for. So that personality assessment is extremely important. And we at ACHNET, that's the first thing we try to bring in, that assess yourself on your personality. Look at it, what you want to do, what you can do. And if there is a gap somewhere, you need to take some help, then the coaches are there for you to help. Extremely important. Coaches can help you design your career path along with your professional goals. That's the whole point of doing the personality assessment up front, so that you understand what you can do. And then once your goal is there, you know what your personality is, you have designed your professional goals, you know what your professional goals is, and you are already into the job, or you are already in the job and you still want to go up in the job, then you have to make sure that you are promoting yourself, what you want to do. Extremely important. We cannot be at one place and not talk about what actually we want to achieve and be happy within the company which we are working for, or even outside. So we have got something called the intra company social network, we call it the social power on ACHNET, where, I mean, you can use for outside as well, but if it is within the company, if we implement within the company, then the people can interact within the company with this social network, intra-company social network, where they can talk about what their achievements are, what they want to do, and so forth. I mean, it can be used more of a social network within the company. But here, the point I'm trying to make here is that we don't have to just sit there and talk about and brood about it, that we wanted to be a leader and there is no help for me to reach to a leader position. So few things we have to do is we have to communicate constantly about what we want to do so that the other people can notice what we want to do. Not only your manager, not about only your subordinates, but also the other people in the company, that this is the guy who's looking. So because if there is a manager who is looking for a good leader and they see that there is a person who is proving himself to be a good leader, he is constantly broadcasting that he wants to look for a new position or a better position, then that manager or leader can grab you and give you that opportunity. Very important. Now, let's talk about, once you have professional goals and all your personality is done, let's talk about how to establish your professional credibility. Now, what is professional credibility? Professional credibility is about you walking the talk. It's not about the resume. It's not about what you have written and you've put in something like, I have done this and I'm very successful and all. No, it's about how you are positioning yourself within the company or outside the company. Extremely important. As I mentioned in my previous slide, that 85% people do not know how to position themselves. They are still at the perception of few people within the company or outside the company, few people within the company to help them, take the next step. But if we want to change that, we want to have more control into our own hands. And how do we do that? Let's talk about it. So first thing is, let's establish about, we call it the power rating, and this is all on ACHNET. This is the help which is there. We establish our power ratings. Now, when we talk about power ratings, what we mean? Three important things. It's not what I'm saying, this is my strengths or the traits. No, I'm talking about what people perceive me. I'm not talking about the manager who is current manager in the organization, talking about your traits and strengths. I'm talking about what other people in the company thinks what my traits and strengths are. And these traits and strengths are, we have got 7 traits and strengths which we talk about. One is adaptability, critical thinking, creative thinking, effective communication, leadership, problem solving, team player, and work ethics. High level, but if you see, these are very high level, but they fit in somewhere within the teams, if you look at it, or the company is what they're looking for. If you have got 10, 20, 30, 40 people talking about your strengths, and you have got whole collated about your strengths, and then when somebody is looking at it, he's not looking at it what one person has said, he's looking about what 50 people have said about this particular person. Strengths is another ratings on your skills which are there, which we have not shown it here, so people can rate on the skills. So I'm not talking about ratings like somebody giving 1 to 10 rating, how my work was, and somebody said 5 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, and good, voila, I'm a good worker. No, we are not talking about that. We are talking about you. We are talking about your personality. And that's what the companies will be looking for. That's what you will be looking for when you are hiring the people. The other thing is the video recommendations. People talk about recommend. I have given the recommendation. They write, in their leisure time something very nice and give it to you. Fine, it works. No problem. I can look at a lot of people who have given recommendation to the people who come and work for me. But think about it. If somebody takes out the time and record a video for you, how valuable it can be. It shows two things. The person who is giving you a video recommendation, he has taken an extra effort to record a video. He is coming on the video to give you a recommendation. Big deal. Second thing, if I get it, if you are coming to me for a leadership position, you come to me and say, hey, and I get, instead of, before even you coming, I look at those videos, I've already made up my mind. I know where this person fits in. From your traits and strengths, I already know where you fit in. From your personality, and the other thing which I think we are missing it, from your personality assessment is also part of it. So your personality assessment is also there as part of your profile. I know what your personality is. I know what your traits and strengths are. I know what your people are talking about you. When I get a video, people are actually talking in front of the video. I mean, it looks like the person sitting to me is talking about you. So it becomes very, very powerful. And the last thing is your video profile. You have to make your video profile no matter what. Instead of sending out the paper resume, you can still send out the paper resume, but there has to be a way to record your video profile where you can talk about your achievements, about the work you have done. And that work should be tied up with your video recommendations. Very, very important. If I say as a salesperson that I met a target of $10 million for this particular company, and there is a manager who is also giving me a recommendation that he has achieved the $10 million target, voila, you have a credibility there. What you said, you're a winner there. Now, as on the other side, as a senior executive, if I'm looking to build my leadership team and I'm looking at you and say, wow, it makes sense. I don't have to go through the whole big interview process. I have got his video profile. I can see how he's talking. I can see how his communication is. I can see, what his recommendations are, what his strengths are, what his personality are. I've already made 80% of the decision. You're already sold. That's it. Why as a managers or leaders, we have to waste time in going through the whole big interview process and trying to figure it out and still not confident whether this person will work or not. This way, we'll make sure the person will work perfectly for our organization, at least 90%. I mean, the people still mask, but people will work. So that was the whole point of bringing power rating into the system. And that's part of ACHNET also. Okay. Then, third thing, we talked about the coaching. We are not perfect. We already talked about the professional goals. We want what we want to achieve. And as we are going into the organization, growing into the organization, we find the hurdles. We are constantly learning. Sometimes our professional goals can also change. We need to have a support system behind us so that it can give that momentum to our careers and to our lives. And now, since we have started working from homes, remotely, all that stuff is coming in. It is more important, how do we balance our lives now? I mean, a lot of people, I heard a lot of people talking about it, that they're spending more time at work and less time with the family, because their computer is always on and they are constantly working, and family is like saying, hey, you were better off when you were working from office. You're constantly working from home now. So some balancing needs to be done. So who will do that? Maybe a coach can help. Maybe there's too much stress coming in for whatever reasons. Who can help? A coach. Maybe the work which you're doing now you are at your own home, you're more free to think. You can say that maybe, the work which I'm doing is not in tune with what actually I want to achieve. Although you did your professional goals early on, maybe it is changing now. Maybe the coach can come in and help you. And these are all professional coaches we are talking about. We are not talking about the people who are not certified. We are talking about the people who are certified, who are earning their living through coaching, and successful people who have coached successful people. So what we have got hundreds of coaches on the platform. Although the slide says career coach, it's not limited to the career coach. I think this is something which I should have changed, but that's okay. There are a few coaches we have listed here, and on ACHNET, if you go, you can see some of the videos of some coaches as well. They can help you in all these things here. I mean, executive leadership or career planning and team development, career transition, mental life wellness, and so forth. So we need to be successful, we need to be happy, and we need to be more valuable. So we need something which give momentum to our careers. We need to be more happy, and that's what we are trying to bring in onto the platform. Okay. How do I keep making a mess here? Slide is not moving. Okay, I think something happened here. I think I'm struggling with this.
Try it again, Manoj.
Yeah, I got it here. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry, guys. I was, Now, the other thing is the talent management. So, we talked about the professional goals. We talked about the professional credibility. We talked about the coaching, which is more of your support to you. Then comes the talent management. Talent management is, as a leader, you need to bring the people as part of the team. Whether it's an executive building the team, whether you as a leader building the team, whether anybody else building the team, I mean, you need a talent management. Talent management, we are not talking about, obviously recruitment is part of it, but we are talking about just more than a recruitment. We are talking about when people come to you, or you look at the people, are you getting the 360-degree view of those people? Very, very important. What we talked about, the professional credibility, the personality assessment. Do we have that in the people? Are we hiring the right people who can fit within our teams? That's what we are talking about, the talent management. And all these things, when the person comes into the platform, intra-company, because we will be implementing this within the companies, and this is more for a company. And when we implement this, or as we are implementing this with some companies, The managers are liking it because now they have to spend less time in validating the candidates, because the validation is automatically there about the candidate, which we already talked about, by how to get the people, how to establish your professional credibility. How so the person coming in, he has to position themselves well. He has to make sure that his video recommendations are in place. He has to make sure that his video profile is in place. And we don't talk about one person just putting in. We are talking about multiple people. And this is what we should be asking when we are bringing the people in, that, okay, you have worked in this place. Where is your video recommendation? Where is your video profile? I mean, the recruitment team within the organization should be directed that these are the absolute necessary things we need, because we don't want to spend tons and tons of hours validating the person, through interview process, and then later on we find out the person is not right fit, right? So that's what the talent management brings in. The other important thing which we have put into the, when you do, okay, finally you have got this person and you have validated whatever the person is, what his personality is, what his strengths are, and what his ratings are on his skills, and what his recommendations are, and how he speaks. All that is already there, but you still say, you know what, let me get him onto the video interview. So we have got the whole video interview process or video thing already set up. I would have preferred to do this particular conference on on ACHNET's meeting, but we are doing with Zoom. I mean, I'm just kidding here. So we have got an ACHNET meeting which you can use to interview the candidates, apart from your regular conference calls and so forth. So important thing is that we are putting the AI behind it now. So why we are doing that? So idea was that, okay, person has to walk into the office, and when we interview the person, we look at what his emotions are, what his body language is, and so forth. So we are putting that in, trying to figure it out, what the emotional makeup of the person is at the time of interview. The system can bring that report onto you as to what his what their emotional makeup was at the time of the, although you can figure it out yourself, but you will have system also trying to give you some reports so that you can match it up. Now you have got something which is complete. The whole 360-degree view of a person, the whole emotional thing of a person in front of you. So when you are bringing them in the team, you know what exactly that person can do for you. Then there is a team management function in there. A lot of people, this we have put in for a specific reason. So what happens is, if you look at the current state, in a particular area, I was leading a team, and suddenly the team is being dismantled, and as a leader, I'm being left with little or no work. And then I was told I'm told that HR is going to circulate my my profile or my name within the company, and somebody will figure it out. That's how it happens today. At least it happens within our organization. And that is also dependent on what kind of reviews I'm getting from the HR and so forth, or my manager has given what reviews and so forth. So there is a very limit. There's some limitations there. So what we did was this team management. Everybody is looking at you, and if you come off, then there can be the people who might be already eyeing on you. Hey, this guy, when he comes off, we will grab him because you have already positioned yourself very well. And so that's what we are talking about, the team management. So you can manage your team. That is one, once you come off. The other important thing is that if there are people who are not fitting within the team dynamics because their personalities are different, then because of your personality assessment, you can pick those people and put them into the teams which are more suited for them, or with the goals what they have, you can put them in there so that they can be more happier. And as a company, we are sure that the people are performing to the levels which they can. So that's all I think I had today. I just want to wrap it up with a few things here. ACHNET as a platform. What does ACHNET means? ACHNET is nothing but a achievers network. We think that everybody is an achiever, in some way or the other. So this is built for the individuals, if where the people can seek the help from the various coaches. They can build their profiles, or get their recommendations and all that kind of stuff, so that they can position themselves very well for future or for current, whatever their needs are, professional goals are. It is built for the enterprises, where the enterprises can manage their team well. They can align the people with the right work for, based on what the people can do, right? Taking the guesswork out. And then the coaches come in for the individuals. If they want to be, if they're individuals, they can hire the coaches themselves and seek the help. Or if they are within the enterprises, then the enterprise can identify a few coaches who can be the standby for to help their workforce in whichever way, whether it's stress management, career management, or leadership training, and so forth. So these coaches are there as a support system for the companies. So that's it. I appreciate everybody joining in. It was nice talking to you. Thank you for your time. I know everybody is busy here, so I will wrap it up here. And thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
And this is where I will jump in, and we got a bunch of questions in the Q&A that I'm going to address for the last 5 to 10 minutes of this presentation. We also encourage you to visit our booth. I'll be there handling the chat. And you're more than welcome to follow up with Manoj or I afterwards. Shoot us a note and we will be quick to respond. So I am going to turn to the questions, and I'm going to start with the ones that came in earlier in the webcast, but feel free to add more. I know you can't see the questions, so I will read them off. Now, the first was how to deal with managers who spoil staff's intrinsic motivation, hence affecting staff's professional credibility. So we actually have a podcast and a blog dedicated to bad bosses and how to deal with them. And we have kind of a twofold response. One is with a coach. So talk with a coach and get advice. I have a career coach through ACHNET who I meet with When I started, it was once a week to really kind of work on my professional brand. After that, it was kind of once a month for just advice and kind of maintenance. But what they can do is really help identify what they do that's affecting you. Once you can put a name to it, it really minimizes the power that they hold over you. And secondly, we highly encourage building your personal brand and your professional credibility beyond your immediate team and manager. So if you have a name across the company, you've been in cross-departmental or cross-functional teams and shown what you're capable of, then if one person kind of maligns you, then their word holds less sway if that's not what other people have experienced. And likewise, joining cross-industry groups, volunteering, joining industry, like for IME, PR and media relations, I'm part of the Public Relations Society, to really build your name and use ACHNET to promote yourself so you're beyond the control of that manager. Okay, so the next question, one of the challenges is that we only consider the technical competencies during the recruitment process. Very few can conduct psychometric assessment tests like personality tests. What is your take on this? So this question was asked before we started talking about the virtual interview emotion analytics, but that is another angle besides the personality assessment, which ours does get into skills and abilities. It's uses the tongue, I think typology, I think it's called, and the Myers-Briggs. But we also, during interview, can do AI analysis of a candidate's facial expressions. So that really assesses the honesty of their answers as well as their emotions. And I want to lead into another question that I thought was very spot on around what about people where English is their second language, which the technology does have much better linguistic capabilities even than a year or 2 years ago. So speech recognition has come a very long way in the advent of the Alexa and the Siri age. However, they also ask about like autism. And so those are really the case by case where some common sense does come in, as well as just training. And I would then again say coaching for hiring managers to handle those outliers. Now, one person asked, I missed the intro and wondered where you're based out of. How much does the coaching cost? So we're based out of Silicon Valley. That's where our headquarters are and where Manoj and our head of technology is. We're a fully remote team. So I'm actually in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and I work remotely with Manoj. And as far as the coaching cost, it is kind of case by case. We have hundreds of coaches on the platform. It's a full marketplace of coaches, everything from life to career, to professional, personal development. And so they run the gamut from level of experience, location. So you can really kind of shop based on all the information they provide in their business page. And so their costs are individual to them. And you can kind of go anywhere from high to low. Let's see, any other questions come in?
And sorry to cut you off, but we're running out of time. So if anyone has any questions, please visit them in their booth. I'd like to thank our sponsor, ACHNET, and presenter Manoj Gupta and Amber Paisano for the great information they shared in this webcast today. And thanks to you for attending. Your feedback is important to us. Please take a moment to fill out the exit survey that opened in a new browser page on your computer. You do have a few minutes before the next webcast begins, so you can visit the exhibit hall or grab a fresh cup of coffee or whatever your beverage of choice may be. We'll be sending you an email with the credit information. You will also find the credits on your View My Credits page of your membership profile once the webcast has been archived. This concludes this webcast session. We hope you've been enjoying Inspire 2021. All virtual booths are available for the entire event, as well as a networking lounge, so take some time to look around and connect. Have a great day.